Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's microcast. Today is Monday, May 4th, 2020. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about roadmaps. So, one of the big ideas I'm really trying with Clubhouse is this idea of being transparent by default. If you're looking for an example of this, you could look to companies like Buffer, who are shamelessly promoting their internal procedures and how they run their business, which I find really informative and helpful. And so with Clubhouse, I would like to try to be transparent as well, at least as much as I can. I mean, if I'm not going to share something, I should have a good reason why I'm not. The second big idea that I'm trying to do is to make double use out of the work that I produce. As an example, if I spend a lot of time looking into deployment systems, then I expect to be able to write a blog post about deployment systems in the future. And so if I'm going to spend a lot of time working on my roadmap, taking care to, organize it a certain way, I feel like it's, good to do a video or a blog post talking about that. And so here we are today. So today, this is the Clubhouse Roadmap. It's stored in Trello. It's a public Trello board, so you can definitely check it out. And the big idea here is obviously planning. So I am another true believer. Another belief I have is that it's a really good idea to separate design time from execution time. And that goes to with business stuff as well. So you should definitely be spending a good chunk of your week thinking about what you want to do. You will be more productive if you take a day. For me, a lot of times it's like Sunday night and kind of prepare, the deck and, try to have a deep, thought about what you want to accomplish that week and how you will get there with certain tasks. And so that way, during the week, you can just execute. You don't have to kind of think about, well, what do I have to do next? It's just like, well, I have an hour. Here's my task list. What can I do in an hour? Let's get at it. So with that in mind, I think it's really important to have a roadmap to, think about where, what your goals are and so forth. So, yeah, so like that's step one, really, is to define your goals. The recommended way I would tell you is basically to work from the end backwards. So Amy Hoy does a good job of this, explaining it as like a dinner party, where you want to throw a dinner party and you have in your head, you kind of visualize what the dinner party is going to be look like, who's going to be there, and the types of food you're going to have, and the types of drinks, and the music, and all this other stuff. And so you kind of like, you document that as your end state. And then you think, okay, well, what do I have to do to get to that end state? And then you just break it apart into small chunks and just, start stacking them. And then if you have dependencies, creating those dependency lists and so forth. So with that said, a roadmap should really start about with your goals. So what are the goals of this project? So for me, I've defined goals at a yearly level. My 2020 goals, you can see here, launch the public alpha in April. That's a thumbs up. We did that. Launch the public beta in June, and then release the 1.0 in July. So the big idea here is that we want to try to get things feature complete by June, such that the entire month of June can be dedicated to kind of like bug fixing, documentation, probably testing and implementing billing systems, things of that nature. And then we do the 1.0 release in July, and then we'll start working on the mobile apps. I feel like mobile apps will be an extremely important component to making the Clubhouse platform successful, but I'm not working on them first because I feel like I still need to get the business domain under my head. And so we're working on the foundational, website APIs first, and then we'll work on the mobile apps. That's not to say we don't, spend a day or two, drawing mobile interfaces every once in a while, but real work for that will actually begin after the 1.0 is out. So the mobile apps will, hopefully start in August, hopefully get launched in September. And with that such a small time frame, that probably means that the mobile apps are not going to be like a complete feature-rich system, but hopefully they'll have enough going with push notifications and stuff to help people stay active with their groups. And then the big goal here is to basically, this is the monetary goal, to make money. So I've set a goal for generating about $4,000 in monthly recurring revenue by the end of December 2020. That is a very ambitious number. I've set it, and we'll see if we get even anywhere close to it. But you should set a goal and work towards it. I have smaller goals for months and stuff. So let's we'll close this. And we'll take a look at the column. So basically, I've got a little about this board. So being a public board, it's kind of nice, I think, to have a nice README card that kind of describes, what's going on here. And then I've got a column for open questions, which is a place for me just to kind of like, this isn't necessarily an idea or a marketing task or anything like that. It's just like something we are contemplating at the moment and should be resolved relatively soon. Then we've got feature ideas, we've got marketing ideas, and then we break into the months. So generally you only have 2 months live at one point. I kept the April one up because I wanted to kind of show off this board. I'll probably archive this list very shortly. But basically we have all of our tasks. Now in my my labels, the way I've done this is I've kind of made labels for each style of card or each type of card. So we've got feature and improvement cards, we've got bug cards, marketing cards, developer operational cards, security and privacy cards, and these are like our high level categories. And then for status, I have a done label and a late label, and the late label being one like, so this was a card right here, the design platform system, which was started in April but kind of carried over to May, so I've kind of marked it with the late. And then the done is pretty much, because this is not a more caban, I'm not saying that word right, style where you basically drag a card across columns. We're just kind of marking them as done with this kind of green label up here. In theory, you could create a column that's like, I've seen this before, where you create a column which is like the release. So this is the 1.5 release, and this is the 1.6 release, and these are their features inside of it. That doesn't necessarily work well for this board, because this board is a mixture of both feature ideas and marketing ideas. And I'm doing that primarily for myself because I feel like it's really important to, as a developer, I can easily get caught up in building feature after feature after feature without spending any time on marketing. So if I'm going to have a board to look at to do my planning, I want to make it very clear that like I should be doing both marketing and feature development. And so that's why I kind of have them in here. And that's why having a column for a release doesn't really make sense, because marketing tends to kind of expand beyond typical releases. But yeah, I built this out and I've been kind of working on it little by little. I'm pretty happy with the state of things, but I'm sure things will continue to evolve. But definitely check it out and give me some feedback on the roadmap itself, or if you've got ideas about specific features, that would be really cool too. If you haven't played around with Trello yet, I highly recommend it. It's a particularly simple, easy to approach tool that has a really nice like basic interface, and then has lots of they call them power-ups, I believe, which are like kind of plugins that can kind of expand the system a bit. But I've used Trello for many, many years. I wouldn't say I use Trello continuously. I usually use it for a couple months as I work on a project, and then I don't. It's not something that I typically use it for personal projects. And like if I had an open source project, I would probably lean on the GitHub implementation of issues and this kind of card system, just because it's more tied in with the code. But anyway, I'm rambling. So with that, we're going to close it up for today. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you have a good week. Happy Monday, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.